Jarefi looks at it also as kind of a core and periphery. There's an unequal division in terms of wealth. And you can apply this to Apple currently. So all the wealth is actually made predominantly by Apple. Yet all the work is done by contractors, such as Foxconn, whose margins are really, really thin. Why is it that this can occur when much of the work is being done in one place and not another? And these are kind of the issues that are kind of, I think, are live, are relevant. We're doing a really relevant course, but it will require you to kind of actually look kind of tangentially and connect these things. If you look at kind of power and governance, why is it, for example, that health and safety standards and all the rest of this can be actually, even though it's an arm's length approach, why is Apple determining the health and safety of the suppliers now? Could it be reputational damage? This comes back to the lecture I asked you, in whose interest should capitalism be run? But if it's in shareholders, why can't Foxconn shareholders just decide what the level of health and safety will be? So you're looking at kind of Nike in an early period. Nike was the kind of the paradigm of kind of, everything that was wrong with the, kind of the global apparel chain. But it changed. But nothing has changed in terms of power. If you're looking at chains, you're looking at power. Sometimes the supplier has power. Let me give you an example using Porter's framework. If you want aviation fuel, you say you're going to go to kind of Shell or BP or whoever. Well, what if they all decide they're going to go at the same price? What are you going to do about it as an airline? Nothing. It's not always the case that power resides to those at the top. Sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. But in much of business and industry, particularly in manufacturing, there is a power relation all the way down. So we're looking at kind of power and governance too. And in terms of kind of Porter and Jarefi, they're actually quite connected. The world is seen as linear, it's straight up and down. Might actually have an diagram a little later. The chain could be global. It doesn't have to now be national. To demonstrate this kind of point, next time you read a story in the papers telling you the renaissance of the British car industry, just have a kind of quiet giggle chuckle to yourself, because nearly over a third of the output that's actually made in Britain actually contains imported components. Even assembly now is so kind of spread. There's a global chain. If you doubt the global chain and the interlinkages, think back to kind of the Japanese kind of tsunami and how it knocked out factories and how there were shortages of products that were produced in those regions. Not because the top supplier was affected, but because the supply chain was affected. So, when we're looking at a global chain, it can be spread everywhere. But whether you look at Porter, Clark and Hamill, Jarefi, and I guess you could add a range of other authors in this, they see the firm in its industry. And the firm in its industry is common technology. So you can walk through the production process and you can see the same machines. And they're all producing similar products. Yeah, and to a degree, that's true. Works in simple processes like apparel, shoes. But what about complex products? That's where most of the value now is in complex products, not simple products. How do we conceptualize them? Because they're doing a lot of things, not just basic kind of supplying parts going up the chain. And here, we're looking for connections. Strategy talks about sustainable advantage. You can act on your industry. What if you're not actually primarily in that industry? What if, like Ford, you sell credit to people who buy your cars? You're not actually a bank, but you can affect the whole finance industry because of the way you raise money. So Porter, if we slip back to what Porter is, you negotiate the external environment. We've been here before. The 5 forces, the 3 generic strategies, mutual exclusivity, and how to sustain competitive advantage. Resource-based theory, it's the core competencies. Again, stories in a box. What I find is when I'm teaching is you love stories in a box. Even when, critically, you start to realise that the story may not fit the box, you'll continue with it. Because there's nothing to put in its place. Brian Hammond talked about intelligent knowledge and competences. Would people, would companies actually employ anybody who knew nothing? But they also talk about firms in its industry and how you can control the destiny of the industry. It's always about how you can change your industry. What if you can't? And we've been here, but political economy offers us, I think, an interesting challenge. This isn't about, how is this relevant to business and management? Well, actually, it's actually really relevant. It's incredibly relevant. Because, if you look at it directly, he's arguing that there's industrial sectors. If you look at a map of value of Chinese manufacturing, it's actually very, very concentrated. So it's actually industrial sectors. If you look at the concentration of British manufacturing, 80% of British manufacturing is only in 20% of the wards in Britain. There's actually kind of a case to be made here about industrial sectors. And if you were going to improve things and to encourage, say, manufacturing and encourage business, you just have to look at 20% of the postcodes, not all of them. He looks at kind of industrial sectors, and what he sees is a global organisation of production. Now, if we were using the Porter's framework, we'd say, well, it's not concentrated, it's spread. But Jarefi is arguing, well, actually, it doesn't actually matter anymore. Because the chain is connected, even though it's organised outside your borders. If you think of kind of automobiles, aircraft, computers, you can run through. I mean, the problems of kind of, if you look at Boeing, the problems of Boeing is in part, the parts were coming from everywhere. And they were trying to squeeze costs, and the suppliers did their best to fit that. But you can classify industries, we all do it. You can either look at it through technology, competitive structures, or labor intensity. And they're kind of the 3 predominant ways of doing that. Does that work across other industries? And here, I want to kind of challenge some of these assumptions. First of all, if you've read Porter, Carlyle, and Hammond, and even Jarefi, there's something that they never state. The unstated assumption is that they have defined what object they're going to look at. When it's not like in the frame, a picture frame, you decide what's in the frame. So it's supply side. There is a commodity that moves through the chain to the final product. Commodity, final product. You can trace it. We also assume that the firm wishes to make money just out of production. I've yet to encounter anybody who's actually come up to me and said, well, they might be just making things because they can sell finance. There's also an assumption that the competitor is always another competitor who looks virtually the same, and the boundaries of the firm are exactly the same. So you're competing with another firm in that industry. So side assumption, there's the commodities of the final product, imagery, it's a production spend. You just assume that if you're in production because you can make money out of it. It might actually be a conduit. There's also competition within the industry. Well, let's go through the examples because I too fall for that, and I did fall for that. I mean, if you take coming in of the cars business, again, Womack, James and Roos, our first workshop connects with that. It's also the book that I wrote in 1992 shared that. Just a simple assumption that it's all about the supply side, produce the best products you can produce and you will be successful. The company was interested in productive innovation, and it was always competing against the firms within its industry. Well, if you look at kind of the vertical kind of links, what you've got is, if you read the kind of literature from that period, is competition could be defined by where is your advantage? Is it in the design? Is it in the suppliers? So that we talk later. Is it in the assembly? That could be the Germans. Or is it in the leadership? But whichever way you look at it, you can define them of what the production chain is actually defined as or classified as. So Ford was regarded as a mass producer because it went through all these stages, one after the other. Toyota was a lean producer because it had a Masonic desire to drive out costs, as though other manufacturers didn't. But the lean producer had actually organised production differently and then was successful.